Hi, Mike Ratner, mikesmastermind.com. I'm just kind of laughing at myself because I just picked up the phone, hit the record button, and just going for it. It's January 1st, 2024. Oh my gosh. And what is it, 10:30 in the morning? And yeah, I'm just closing as many windows as I can. I got so many tabs open on my laptop, and I've got three different laptops open with multiple tabs or sets of tabs in each one. Yeah, it's really like it discounts me right away in my reality. It's like, well, who might even be saying any of this stuff, which I'm going to talk about here? Okay, so I was idealizing something, thinking about, like, well, for the new year, I know very specifically, and it's very personal to me, what I would like to have happen. And perhaps on some level, it's an accomplishment because I would have matured in a way that I would be better able to relate not only my ideas, but my identity or how I come off, particularly to a particular someone. And that would sort of match up in a way that would allow us to get along and be able to relate on a whole new level. And that is my wish for you in corresponding to your world, or what I've been talking about over the last year, called the Weltslash, my German word for the world dwelling experience. And to, um, in our way of ultra being present, exemplify this experience so that we display some level of enlightenment or we discover it for ourselves that allows us to correspond in this quote unquote enlightened environment of the Weltslash. So there's more capability, awareness for better decision making, conscious uh, relating. And of course, there's a curiosity. And for me, thinking about this ideal that, well, maybe I haven't made the grade and haven't matured enough, but that willingness and that desire to aspire is a great driver. And it's done so in an earnest, honest way, right? I mean, it's coming from the heart and a willingness to sort of understand and, if needed, take apart whatever past experiences or the things that you weren't quite doing right or plainly wrong. Um, so not only they're better understood, but the mistakes don't repeat. And it's just a whole new level of correspondence. Correspondence, I'm talking about an energetic and level to where something that's deep and meaningful is felt, and it's part of that exchange. So for me, thinking about this ideal, um, it would be wonderful to have that ability to exemplify this so that you become this person. So it relates a lot to the work, and you can find this at grandtourideas.com, which is the overall philosophy, but getting more specific to ultra beingness, which I talk about in the mikesmastermind.com podcast, mikesmastermind.com. And this is an exploration. So I come up with certain ideas and I kind of make up words because I haven't found the terminology anywhere else. And so I need something to sort of coherently explain it. And the coherence is a factor because it is an embodiment of something that within this knowledge that if we can experience it, we can explore it. And I'm looking for a shared perspective. It may not be everything that I see or even agree with, but allows me to widen the perspective so I can or zero in on something that I was missing to expand this conscious awareness. And that's the goal of I awareness, where we have an awareness of something, but I awareness is this not only individual perspective, but it is sort of a gateway uh, understanding I go, which I write about at igoism.com, this selfie in the mind of who we think we are, and we project it out there and then we live it. So if we can imagine this ideal and we could project it, but we actually become it. And again, this is again Dankin, so it's a thought experiment, but I'm wondering because I want to understand the mechanics of, you could say, this conscious I awareness that allows for enlightenment, and how deep can it go? How can we enrich it and become benefactors of it so that we're able to gift it to others in the way that we're present? These are kind of deep ideas. And yet they're drivers for me because, like I started this podcast talking about for the new year, I have a driver, and it could just be imagined in my own ideal that I never achieve it. But I know in the sense of how I deal with it or feel it, I sense I'm closer to it. Now, it could be delusion. But at the same time, though, I sort of have this check-in, right, whether I'm doing this podcast or not, looking at the changes, and there are a lot of changes that we're all probably going through, and perhaps you have New Year goals, or just the fact that, changes in life and as we mature, this becomes something where we reckon with things. I have a whole talk about the REC formula, but reckoning with the W in front is to sort of take down the stodginess of the past, the things that limited and held you back, institutionalized you, and now it's a paradigm shift to where we have evolved in a bit more of this awareness in terms of self-actualization, right? The pinnacle peak of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, using that as a theoretical model, that we could achieve some sense of self-mastery or this more in-depth level of I-awareness that's going to preclude the ability for us to function in this world slosh, this world that we're dwelling in some capacity that aligns to our values, right? Gives our life more meaning and purpose. Talk about the MVP, meaning, and this becomes your mission, where you have sort of a vision that's tied into your values and you're living your life with purpose. It becomes a passion. So the expression of this is sort of imagining it and in all capacity, perhaps acting it out, acting as if. At the same time, it's very sensory, right? Depending on what your modality is, if you have a preference for where you're more kinetic and kinesthetic and feeling this groundedness in your body, it's a vestibular feeling from your gut, or you just sense it in every dimension. And it's also what you're listening to, whether it's your self-talk, right? Your ID is internal dialogue. I write about this quite a bit in morbid.masstrance.com. Actually, it's morb, morb.masstrance.com. Again, all the links to almost everything is found at grandtourideas.com. grandtourideas.com, sort of my repository. You get a sampler platter of hors d'oeuvres, and if there's an inkling of something you like, you can click to more. And there's even some things beyond that I still need to endeavor. I need your help, because it's just otherwise it's sort of a quasi-quest. Some good ideas here, but where does it go? And where's my MVP relating to it? Where's the deeper meaning and vision that's really tied into what I value and how it's going to really exist and persist in my living my purpose and having that passion. So for you, the listener, I guess it's identifying that for yourself. What's your ideal? What's your goals for the new year? And you could be listening to this at any time of the year, so it could just tie in from today moving forward to a birthday or anniversary, or just making something significant as a project or a launch that you're going to do. But it's really more the experience of being. So this ultra being is the experiential element. That's the experiment here, the Gedenken, the thought experience of what it would be like, and to imagine it and then to act it out and play it in some detail. Not that you have to impose on anybody else or sort of make everybody else sort of your puppet in this experience. No, it's sort of how you're relating to yourself and your imagined projection of self. And what is this? It's just for fun, but at the same time we're playing so that we can have a certain sense of this experience that could lead to some realization, whether it's self-realization, universal realization, God realization, or just sort of a maximizing of this world slosh understanding. Something becomes revealed to us that we get the bigger picture, or that special sort of element that we can then exalt. This is an opportunity for us. Thanks for tuning in, and all the best wishes for your new year. And here we are. Mike'sMastermind.com. Love to get your input. And where is this for you in expressing your true self, your I-aware ultra beingness in the new year? What's your ideal? Thank you. And that's the question, isn't it? What is your ideal? And how do you express it and make it an invite for others to relate to you in this level? An opening, right? A metasphere that's really warm and welcoming. That's the question.